morning and welcome back. I am Penny from So Charming Quilt Shop in Clanton, Alabama, and today we are going to do our normal Saturday morning of Subscriber Spotlight. That is the time when we highlight you guys and show what you have been working on so that other people can see it and enjoy it as well. So to start off today, our first subscriber is Miss Joyce Godwin. She has turned in several in the past, and today is no different. We are going to see what she has been working on. She finished a quilt top for a friend of hers. She added a border, she quilted it, she binded it, and she sent it off to her friend in North Carolina. She has edge to edge quilted it with some holly leaves, and when she picked that design and she stitched that design, she didn't know that their house was called Holly Hill. So that was pretty neat. But take a look at this quilt and her quilting that she's done on it. It is great. Wasn't that cute? She did a great job with that. I'm sure her friend is going to love that quilt. We have another submission, and it comes to us from Lee, and the last name is Tucci. Not sure how I pronounce that, and I don't want to butcher it. So that's the name. And Lee has sent one in, and it's a square and a square. It's the same pattern that we used on a quilt video about a year ago. And it's a Christmas one, berry and pine. It's about to be quilted, and then it will be a gift for Christmas this year. The one that is quilted that she submitted is called Neighborhood Florist, and it is for her daughter also for Christmas this year. So she is getting her projects done early. Don't we all appreciate that? She's going to get to enjoy the holiday because her projects will be done. How nice. She's done great. So let's look at those. What a great job. I loved seeing the quilts. So thank you for submitting those. We appreciate those. And we still have some more. Our next one comes to us from Debbie Khun. And she has turned in some projects that she has finished. And well, she's getting some work done. Let's look and see what she has done. Wow. Wow. You guys are wonderful. You are getting these projects done, and I wish I could say the same on my end. I have got so many projects to do that I tend to seem to be adding to it instead of taking away. But you guys are doing great finishing your projects. We appreciate you sending those in, so thank you for that. And you're inspiring us to try to get ours done. At least that's what I'm going to try to do this weekend. I hope some others are as well. We still have more. The next one comes to us from Miss Diana Shoemaker, and she is from Indiana. She said she enjoys quilting, but she also enjoys cross stitch. So she has turned in some pictures of some cross stitch, if I can get my words out today, some cross stitch that she has done. Sit back and look at this. Are those not gorgeous? She said the hummingbird pillow was a 22-year UFO. She had started it 22 years ago and it was sitting there not finished, and she has finished it. So, wow, wow, wow. What a great accomplishment to finish a project in general, but especially if it's been sitting there for 22 years. You know, I started a cross stitch. I know some of you have probably already heard the story, but I started a cross stitch probably, I don't know, 25, 30 years ago. And it's the Last Supper, and Jesus is still eating alone. He has no disciples with him. However, he does have food and drink. So at least I accomplished that. I do plan on finishing it. I expected to have already been working on it, but, well, I haven't done it yet. But it's on my list to do. Anyway, what a great job she did finishing that 22-year UFO. I know that feels good. She said she completed it in the year 2022, but that it was a 22-year-old project that had been sitting there for that long, and she's finished it. So I am so glad she finished it. She said the wedding cross stitch was for her friend's daughter. She said the nutcracker cross stitch she did for her husband because he loves nutcrackers. So that is her submissions, and wow, that's a lot of work. She did great. Thanks for turning those in. We appreciate that. We have another one. Miss Sally out of Alexander City has finished the panel, which is the same panel I've got hanging here, but she's done hers with different border colors, and well, let's take a look at what she's done. Did you notice her stitching on that? Her edge to edge design was spools and needles, and That was so pretty. I know she is happy with that. Now, we're still not done. You guys have turned in a lot this week. The next one we have is from Miss Cheryl Hartkey. And she made a quilt top several years ago. And she said that people told her you can't mix fabrics. You can't mix different kinds of fabrics. You just can't do it. Well, she decided that she was going to prove them wrong and that yes, she could. And I wrote back to her and told her I was so glad she did that because yes, you can. It's your quilt. You can do whatever you want to do. It may not be what the next person made or how they chose to do it, but you know what? That's what makes it all so great. Everybody's is different. Well, she proved them wrong and she did it. She said this pattern is called Streets of Chicago, or it also goes by split rail. So let's look at what she has made. She did fabulous. I am so glad she didn't listen to other people saying she couldn't do it. Yes, you can. Yes, you can. Well, that is all the submissions we have for today. We appreciate each and every one of them that turned in pictures today. If you would like to send in something for next week, send it to sewcharmingquiltshop@gmail.com. It's SEW charmingquiltshop@gmail.com. We will turn those pictures in and let everybody see what you're working on. We all love seeing new ideas and just different things that people have made. Whether we're going to make one or not, it's fun to look and see what other people are doing. So thank you for submitting, and I hope some of y'all will submit for next week. And until then, well, I'm going to be working on my projects. I hope you're going to be working on your projects. And that's all. Until next week, I got to get to the shop and get to work. You guys have a great weekend. Enjoy what you're doing. Get in that sewing room and happy quilting.